Hello, welcome to my first vlog. This one's going to go out and be talking about basically the United States and various other countries going out and making fun of Americans for being so grossly overweight, lying on labels, telling us don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this, and having it be that things that you thought were good for you 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, cooked at home, were worse than fast food. Literally, about 6 years ago, 6.5, I was working at a catering hall. Normally, whenever they'd give us food, it was like the scraps, what they wouldn't go out and give anybody. It was like the worst crap ever. I lived in a sub-basement, had no kitchen, and for the year, I ate nothing but fast food. I didn't work out, but a little bit, for a couple months, with my dog. But in that time period, I lost a ton of belly fat eating fast food, which is supposed to be bad for you. Now, when they had the whole truth and labels thing a few years back, and you had to go out and find out that this burger has 200 calories and so on and so forth, you have to think about it. Okay, if you had a burger, it's 200 calories, that's not too bad, because you can go down to the store and go out and pick up a Gatorade, and it's 2 servings, and it's 110 each. So you drink a Gatorade, it's actually just as bad, if not worse, than a hamburger. The hamburger will take a little while longer to process in your body, of course, which brings me to processed foods. Over the last several months, because of things that people know that are going on here, I've been pretty much eating off all microwavable foods. It did nothing but go out and put fat around my midsection. All too often, I will go out and do something like that just as a test. I might try a new product. I'll go out and try a new exercise, so on and so forth. So therefore, if I have a possible client that says, hey, I'd like to try this or that, I have insight. So I've tried like a million different things. Now, it just makes me laugh when I go out and I see the labels. Like I said, you can go and have a double quarter pounder, a whole bunch of fries. It's about 700-800 calories. That's one meal. If your max out is supposed to be around 1,500, you lost half of it in one meal. However, that doesn't mean that you couldn't have had a light snack in the morning, or a light breakfast in the morning, or a light dinner and or some snacks, and maybe you'll go a little over 1,500. Now, as far as say what your body weight's supposed to be and how many calories you're supposed to take in, you're technically supposed to times your body weight by 10 to 12. So if you're 150, you can figure it out. It's 150 calories, 1,500 calories to 1,800 calories. Now, if you happen to work out, depending on how hard you work out, you could take off 10, 15, 20, 25%, which means somebody that works out can go out and add that. And somebody like, say, The Rock, who works out 3 hours a day, can go out and add 50. So he can go out and easily eat 3,500 calories and not have any body fat on him. The fact that there are other things that are going on that he takes and supplements and so on and so forth doesn't hurt the situation. Now here I'm going to talk about the lying on labels. I have on more than one occasion gone and got those little itty bitty, like this big, 8-ounce Weight Watchers meals. And the front part of the label, it says high protein, and then you go and you look on the back, and you look on the back, see that it says it has 200 calories. Then you see it says it has 5 grams of fat. Now when you're going out and multiplying, you take fat, you take the grams by 9, you take protein, fiber, and carbs and times by 4, alcohol per serving times by 7. So obviously you're not going to be having, alcohol in that Weight Watchers meal. But being that the norm that I was talking about earlier was 60-20-20, they had people that started to say, oh, you got a carb load. And then next thing you know, you had like nothing else in your system, and you can go hypoglycemic, which I did, and I popped a hamstring right before the Olympic trials, which really sucked because I was set to make the team. So I ended up blowing it because I was stupid and tried something I never tried, and I just felt worse and worse and worse. I was all out one day, pop. Then you had the opposite, go vegetarian. Now you go vegetarian, some people can't handle that. It's too much of a thing. Gluten has only been talked about for, I don't know, the last few years, and more likely than not it's going to turn into a fad in a few years, and it's going to just run away. The same way people smoking e-cigarettes, they just found out that, yeah, you actually have a higher percentage of getting esophageal cancer than you do smoking regular cigarettes. So instead of smoking outside when they would be doing less, they're smoking 3 times more than they would because they're allowed to now. But okay, I happen to have this SlimFast. Now, SlimFast says it's, you know, a great product, and it's good to replace a meal. Now, if you're hungry, having a 16-ounce bottle of water or a shake is not going to fill you up unless you're about 90 pounds. Now, with this, they have the serving size is 1 scoop. For this actual bottle here, it's like I got 14 servings. The calories are 110. Now, it says, you know, it's a great meal replacement, so on and so forth. It says it has 10 grams of fat, 10 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, it's 200 calories, and 24 vitamins and minerals. It doesn't mention anywhere on here carbs. It doesn't mention fiber. Now, I can't show you this because you won't be able to see it. When you go out and do a little bit of the research, it says calories from fat, 25. For that, it means it has to be somewhere around 3 grams. So I slide down here and it has total fat, and sure enough, it's 3 grams. So that was good, they didn't lie on that. And they tell you cholesterol, sodium, potassium, all stuff that's just things that you need to have in your body. Now you go out and read the total carbs. The carbs are 18 grams, which means 72 calories. The fiber is 5, and the protein is 10. So now you got 60 plus 72, which is already 132, plus 25. That's 157. So you're taking in 47 grams and 47 calories more than you think you do, and this happens all day long. No matter what you eat, if something is made by someone else, you can go out and do this, and it's an easy calculation to go out and do it. And it's crazy because I've actually seen protein drinks that had 20% protein, 60% carbs, and 20% otherwise. When I used to train real hard, I'd have to take, and this was over 20 years ago, when you could actually get a protein bar or a protein drink that was 100% protein, I'd have to have 1 or 2 of those on me, and I'd have to have 1 thing of carbs just to load me up. But I'd have to make sure that I didn't slide by having protein. Okay, that moves on to this. I had never had this or seen it before. I was offered it a couple days ago. It says V8 protein. Okay, so if it's a V8 protein, and you can see where it says it has 12 grams, it says 3 grams fiber, no high fructose corn syrup. Okay, so if it has 12 grams of protein, we have 48. 3 grams of fiber, we have 60. Now you look on the back. It has 200 calories. This is a 10-ounce drink. It has 200 calories. The quote-unquote good stuff is 60. The carbs is 140. So 140, then down to 40, then down to 12, makes this more like a 70% carbohydrate drink. Yet, fiber! Liars. So, don't be fooled by that. There are a lot of people that go out now and they're doing organic, and organic stuff can be similar, because you don't know where it came from unless you grow it yourself. Obviously, you can go to the food store and have the same issue with buying any kind of meats. You don't know if that cow had steroids in it. Now all of a sudden they said they're going to cut steroids out on all these animals, being that, you know, they've only been getting them for like 50 years, you know, to make them where they're bigger, they they have more meat, so therefore they can serve more purpose, so on and so forth. But it winds up all being basically a lie. So if you want, you can go out and have this. If it goes out and makes it to where you don't feel hungry, good. This, I had one the other day. I had a horrific reaction afterwards because I had just had a whole bunch of fruit. So between the fruit and this, being it was supposed to be a protein bottle, and I didn't look at the label, which I almost always do, I ended up taking in something like 600 calories of carbs in a 10-minute period of time. I went hypoglycemic. My body started cramping. I couldn't drink. I couldn't eat. I couldn't get up. And when I cramp, the muscles that I have go concave. So sometimes I can go out and cramp in my chest. The muscle will disappear, go all the way into my rib cage. And then the same thing happens in my back, and the same thing happens in my legs. When it happens in my legs, it really sucks because I can't do anything. It's like, if you're like this, and you have this muscle pulling you this way, and this one pulling you that way, and you're trying to do something, and it's shaking like this, and it feels like it's going to snap, and then on top of it, your wrist goes, so now everything's going. You need to make sure that you're hydrated before, which I always do. I'm just odd. I'm the exception to the rule. I do everything that I would tell anyone else to do. I actually have a massaging muscle track that I keep on my bed at all times, just in case something like that happens, because then at least I could get up a little bit and try to roll it out. And unfortunately, sometimes when my legs go, poof, my abs will go for no reason. Didn't work them out, hadn't touched them, blah, 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 but they just decided to join the party. So anyway, thank you for watching my first vlog, and hopefully I'll be doing this on a regular, and possibly in different locations. I did try to go out and get a video of me doing running drills. I'm going to go out and take a look at that because I had to do it myself, so I'm sure it's probably pretty shaky, but at least I got this in. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later and be writing some good material in a little bit. Okay, bye-bye.